Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill, and I'm happy to be here as part of the first ever Shakespeare Festival as part of Triple L and EDSA's initiative right here in the College of Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. My name is Bill, and I'm sorry I can't be there right now, but things have come up rather oddly. Hey, but I am happy to be here. And I guess you might have noticed by now, but I am the clone that they did of in the during the 1980s of William Shakespeare right now in his mid 20s. Yes, if you've seen the show Clone High on MTV, it makes perfect sense, I assure you. I'd love to be there right now telling you all about how it is to be the genetic mutation portmanteau of the greatest bard to ever live. However, I'm currently under house arrest. You see, funny story. It appears that your Anne Hathaway is not my Anne Hathaway. Hey, although I believe that she was a clone of my earlier wife, and she didn't believe that, and I didn't believe what a restraining order was. Now I'm under house arrest. So let's keep that between us. Now, I'm talking to you today mostly about one thing that's really bothering me about the legacy that my genetic father of sorts what's led to me, which is absolutely nothing. Nothing! Here's the thing. Intellectual copyright. I get nothing. I get nothing. You see this right here? See this? Shakespeare hat. Do I get any money out of it? No. No one gets any money out of it. It says he is from the Shakespeare Land Place Trust. Yes, because keeping a house is so much better than keeping the genetic material alive and well. Come on. A man needs his PlayStation 3 video games. Come on, people. Help me out here. And there's even weirder things that I have made no sense out of. I mean, I've got right here this Oxford Concise Companion to English Literature, and it has this weird theory about how Sir Francis Bacon actually wrote everything that Shakespeare did. I mean, come on! What kind of crazy paranoia is this? What kind of conspiracy theory would show up? Claiming the man has not even existed. There's historical documents and everything. Hey, there's another thing. There's this weird theory. There is actually a conspiracy of writers, everyone working together in order to achieve the greatness of one literary mind. There's like 40 authors in on this, and the greatest piece of evidence is the fact that Shakespeare himself only wrote his name one time every time. That's right, he signed his name differently. So one man's mild sense of paranoia evolves into the greatest conspiracy of authorial literariness that has ever lived. I have no idea what is wrong with you generation of authors. Seriously. But there's one thing that scares me even more about all of this, and that's your entire notion of science fiction, which is really just confusing me. Out of everything. I mean, one thing is to say, oh look, Shakespeare's a great author. Okay, good. Shakespeare's renowned by alien races all around the world. Great. But when you tell me that Shakespeare and all of his great plays and tragedies can only be understood in the original Klingon, now that's just poppycock. It's insane. How could you even consider that such a thing? I mean, it's a fictional language created in the 90s for the Star Trek. It was done by this weird linguist called Mark Okrand, of all people, who made this Klingon dictionary. Then he made the conversational Klingon, and then Power Klingon. Power Klingon? Who even does that sort of thing? And even worse, they have this whole entire thing. It's called the Klingon Language Institute. I mean, there are literally thousands of people who are out there translating everything I've ever written into Klingon, a completely fictional language that has more consonants in it than Kyrgyzstan, or whatever it is that you call that country. I don't understand anything that's going on here. Weirder than any of this is the fact that it's kind of interesting. I mean, you look at the website, it says it's the fastest growing language in the galaxy, and we check it out, it's true. There are more people speaking it than Navajo and every other Native American language you can imagine. This is a completely fictional language. There's no primary native speakers for any of you linguists out there, or whatever it is. I mean, it's very much confusing to anyone who has even studied primary language acquisitions courses of any sort. Now, other than this, I think is the fact that the Klingon Language Institute actually has scholarships. Yes, they have scholarships. They're giving you money to study fictional languages. I mean, they've got everything. They've got journals. They've got Hooked, which is how you get more access to new words. Because Klingon doesn't have a word for the internet yet. And so they decided to make it. Well, it's even odder. I mean, let me give you something. I mean, I'm no great linguist, or I don't even know how to pronounce most of these words, and my intellectual British accent can only get me so far. But this is how it sounds. The first 15 or so lines of the To Be or Not to Be soliloquy, perhaps one of the greatest soliloquies of all time from Hamlet. Now, you've all heard the original, but apparently you haven't heard it until you've heard it in the original Klingon. Let me see if I can more or less work this out. Pardon me if this sounds even weirder than anyone can ever imagine. Let's see if I can get this right. Tar pa takbe dah muthrekevan vikenis kuva yabdak san vaka pujesikti pa senbikhe submenuve sukdi e submo rimodi her konne escondi tik o wasanid da eje konisbo pordash rimohnetar yinne bo miwahne behrukne grangvesh her kondi shaknash to wakla kuva hekdakma kontakapis to knuknu nakjia volkamagjo juble wibe wiwodi e wudeli mahedinis kuk disiknis sigmo homo Getma Kuhivin Mikmo. Sorry, that thing is just barbaric, even for the most intellectual of sounding accents. Yeah. Now, if you want to hear the entire thing, it's on YouTube. Just go Klingon Hamlet soliloquy. There's this guy in the entire costume and everything. He does it rather well. I mean, seriously, someone needs to get me a lawyer, needs to get me some money out of this. I mean, I went to Hot Topic about a week ago, and they have a Shakespeare action figure. Shakespeare action figure? Come on, seriously. Hey, how am I not getting any of this money? Come on, just a little bit. Enough for Mountain Dew every so often. I need my caffeine and sugar intake. I mean, seriously, you people. But in any case, it's rather interesting phenomenon to consider just what's going on with Shakespeare, why he's even remembered, why no one remembers me. But still, it's very interesting, and you people out there are doing a great thing by helping everyone learn some of the more interesting facts and figures concerning everything that's going on around here, considering the bard himself. So, take care, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be here there. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.